Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it is the first time you have visited my channel, I want to encourage you to like and equally subscribe to this channel. Okay, so in today's video I'm going to tell you how you can find a job in Germany. So it's no news that Germany is an hotspot. It has one of the strongest economy in Europe, and because of that, a whole lot of people are interested in working in Germany. Now I'm going to share one or two tips, how you can find a job fast. So let's get down to it. So the first one is, of course, you have to search for the job. So you can search for jobs on job portals like Indeed.de, Stepstone, and a whole lot of job portals like that. So say for example you are interested in a job that has to do with digital marketing. What you would just do is go on search portals and find or click digital marketing. So it brings a whole lot of options. You have to do what's to filter. It's based on your interests. So like I said, as a digital marketer, you would put, if you are just looking for an entry level, you look for such positions. If you are looking for a graduate position, you actually include that. And if it's like you have like 5 or 7 years experience, you actually put that into place. So one thing I always advise people also is the fact that when you have put what you're actually interested in, you shouldn't put your head in only one basket. You should look for jobs that are also in catchment area in what you're actually interested in. So for example, you're interested in digital marketing, and I know that a lot of people who are very skilled in digital marketing might also understand social media. So basically, what do you do? If you find some jobs that actually require social media specialists, you can equally apply for them. So to take this to the to an higher level, what you can equally do is you check the name of the company, and go to google.com and search for the position, basically directly with the company. Now the reason why you actually want to do this is because if you are using like popular job portals like Indeed and the Stepstone, they actually stand as an intermediary between you, the applicant, and the companies that really need the talent. So what they do, because they are hired and they search through their system, possibly with softwares or whatever, and they try to find the best applicants and forward possibly around 10 to 15 of these applicants. And don't forget that for every position that you see online, you might possibly have more than 1,000 people applying for it. So what they will do is to filter through a lot of the applications, and forward like 10 to 15 to the company. So what you want to do is to give yourself more advantage by applying both on the job portal and also going to the website of the company which you are interested in, and applying directly to them. You can equally take it a notch higher by writing the HR, telling them why you are interested in the position, what your job, your skills are, and also experiences. When you do that, most likely they would actually reply back to you because you have gone a step higher than the usual applicants who will just stop at the job portal. Okay, so secondly, you could also use sites like LinkedIn and Xing. Now, just like you have Facebook, which is for socializing with people, in Germany, for example, Xing is more or less like the most popular professional social media. So what you would do is go on this platform, create a profile, and also put like a very well taken picture, a professional picture, and with this your profile, you can do what you can socialize with people, especially industries or CEOs of different companies that you are interested in. So most likely what you would do as a strategy is just to compliment them, and also state some of the things that you have observed about their company. It's very important that when you are doing this, you are very much interested in the company and you have done your own research, because if you do not do so, it might actually work against you. Okay, so in addition to this, you also have to have a well-prepared Lebenslauf or CV. Now, it's very important that your CV is according to the German standard. I would put a link to, the German standard of having a CV or writing a CV. Now, what your CV actually is it's going to state, in details your own professional experiences. It also talks about your personality. It's very important that you detail everything. And one thing that a whole lot of employers actually look out for, especially in CVs, is they are always trying to find gap years. Now, what is a gap year? A gap year simply means a time when you were not active in, possibly in a job, or you weren't doing anything specifically. So say for example, you graduated in 2018, and you did not get a job immediately, and you have like 4 months that you were inactive, and it's on your CV. A lot of times when you have too much gap years in your own CV, it might actually count against you. So what do? It's very important currently, if you are not doing something, you could volunteer in one place or the other so that you can include it in your own CV. So one other thing I want to also emphasize on, just like I said earlier on, is that in Germany, apart from your professional credentials, and apart from your educational background and the skills that you have, what several employers actually look out for is what do you do outside of these things, So in terms of volunteering, social works and the rest. So if you have built a whole lot of things, especially volunteering in different aspects, you must include it in your own Lebenslauf, because it gives you edge above other people who are applying. So just to reiterate what I have said, your CV must be up to date, and you should try as much as possible to reduce as much gap year that may appear in your CV. Then you should try also to be very detailed. So how do I mean? For example, you are very good in digital marketing. What you should do is put digital marketing, the role you actually did in the company where you have worked. You also include the name of the company, you put the time you actually worked there, and you could highlight like 4 main responsibilities that you were given or that you did in the companies where you have actually worked in earlier on. So the next tip is also writing a very good cover letter. A lot of times people send in applications and they do not have very striking cover letters. Now, what is a cover letter? A CV in quotes gives like a detail or a summarized version of your work experience, but what a cover letter does is actually to, will I call it, blow your own trumpet. So for example, I'm still using the same example I've been using. You're actually very skilled in digital marketing, and social media. So you could actually include in your own cover letter why, first and foremost, you are interested in that position, and also in the company. Then you could also talk about some of the wins you've had. So for example, you used to do a lot of email marketing. You could actually put in your cover letter that in the weekly newsletters you send to your subscribers, you actually had about 25% open rate. You could also talk about some of the campaigns you have actually run and how successful they were, more or less like when you put a call to action, the number of people that actually clicked the call to action and purchases that they made. So to an extent, a cover letter is there to speak on your behalf. You should just look at it as someone interviewing you and you are not present. So you want your cover letter to speak to you. And several times, one good way of writing a cover letter is to make it like a conversation. You include a lot of stories. You could include what makes you actually very special, because a whole lot of people will be copying and pasting, what they have sent to other employers. But I believe that if you can tailor your cover letter in respect to the job you are applying to, it would actually go a whole long way. Then another tip could also be, attending conferences or reading a lot of research papers. Now, a whole lot of industry giants, have actually written some research paper to show their authority in that field, and a lot of times when you read some research papers, there's always a contact which is there. I mean, like the email address, official email address of the writer or of the author of such papers. So you could write them after reading such paper, highlighting what you actually liked on when you read the papers, and also some of your insights particularly. So basically, as human beings, when people comment on the work you have done, you actually do what? You pick interest in such person. So what you are trying to do is actually to create a rapport with who makes the decision in the company, so when you create like a rapport with the person, you could eventually talk about, after developing this friendship for a while, you could actually state the fact that you're actually looking for a job, and it's going to be quite easy in getting that. In addition to that, like I said, you could equally go to conferences in the field where you are interested in. One of the things that you must understand is that in Germany, a lot of companies are actually growing, and they are improving their internationalization. So what this simply means is that they require a whole lot of talent. So when you go for conferences that is in the field where you are actually specialized in, what happens is the decision makers, also sometimes HR personnel are actually there, heads of departments are there. You could go to their own stand and have a chit chat with them, get their official contacts, and afterwards, after the conference, or most likely that particular day, you could also write and say, hey, hello, my name is so I came to your stand so period, and I am interested in your company, something like that. When you do this, it's several times some people have actually been very successful, because at that particular time, some of this job vacancy had not been put to the public, it's just internally, then it's very easy for you to get the job because the competition is literally zero. Okay, so another tip that is also going to help, if you are looking for a job in Germany, is if you know someone who is working in a particular company, for example, you want to apply to Siemens. I'm just giving that as an example. And someone, possibly like a long distance friend or a colleague of someone, but you just happen to know the person. You don't need to actually be very close with the person, and particularly for this to work, I must state that you personally must be very good at the work you do. Okay, so what I simply mean is this person can actually refer you. One of the things that I have seen in Germany that actually seem to work very well is when someone who works in a company refer another person, because a lot of times HR, usually encourage this, because it's actually a very stressful, endeavor in trying to recruit people. So people want to try as much as possible to reduce the whole workload, as it were. So you have sometimes HR encouraging employees to refer some of their friends who are actually good and can fill this position. So what that simply means is, if you know someone who is working in a company, and there's an open position, okay, it's one, you can ask the person if there are open positions, and two, if you have seen an open position, on the internet, you can tell the person to refer you, because it's going to serve as a positive pointer, because a recommendation goes a whole lot in getting the job. I know somebody or some persons who have actually gotten jobs as a result of recommendation, in addition to also their work experience. But the recommendation was the one that made the HR puts the final decision that, oh, you are approved to be given this job. Okay, then the final tip I'm also going to share is you have to learn the German language. Now, if you are in your home country or you are in Germany currently, you actually need to learn German, because a whole lot of companies, still converse in German language. Sometimes it might even be a multinational company, but when you check the day-to-day conversation between colleagues, what they do is they speak German. So I would encourage you to do what? To learn German in your home country, or if you are currently in Germany, you improve on your German. Okay, so I believe these tips I have shared have been helpful to you, and I believe that if you follow them, you will stand a very good chance of landing your dream job in Germany. Okay, so I want to encourage you to like and equally subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I share very useful information. To the next video, ciao.